Good morning. Just done yoga, so looking a little bit frazzled probably. However, there are a couple of recipes I wanted to make and I thought I'd share them with you because one of them has a couple of little tricky steps or things that you need to be mindful of when you are following some of the recipes on Cookie Do. So I'm going to start off with the cooked mayonnaise, and this is the one that I know a couple of people had a little bit of issues with. So I just want to explain what happens when you get to a certain point in the steps. And whilst that's doing its cooking, I've got chorizo and chicken burgers to make. So we'll get going. All right, so starting with my cooked mayonnaise here, I'm going to start cooking. I'm going to place a jug on the lid. So my jug is up there on the lid. Okay, you can see that's there. And next, I'm going to weigh in 300 grams of grapeseed oil. Now, when you're making mayonnaise, it's really good to use a very neutral oil. So I'll just pour this in as I'm talking to you. So some people use like a full strength, extra virgin olive oil. It really comes across in the mayo. So it's good to use something that's very neutral. So this is just a grapeseed oil I found in the, in the supermarket. And there's my lid. Oh, it's got a funny extra thing on it. Okay, let's see if it comes out. Here we go. All right, so I'm going for 300 grams of this. Oh, pretty good, pretty good. All right, let's just find my lid on the floor. Okay, so we've got that ready because we're going to need that later on. Then I'm going to set my jug aside. And then I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of sea salt. So I've got some Himalayan salt here. Just going to put a big pinch in. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to add 30 grams of white vinegar. Now I've just got literally essentials, very basic white vinegar. 30 grams of that's going to go in. Watch this one carefully. Oh, come on, 1 drop. Here we go, 30 grams. Okay. Next, I'm going to pop the lid on and the measuring cup. And then it's going to cook for 3 minutes. So I've literally just got salt and vinegar in there. Just all I need is chips. All right, so we go up to speed 1 and it's going to cook for 3 minutes. All right, in that time, I'm going to whip up these chorizo and chicken burgers. Just turn this around up on a board so I can actually slide. Start cooking. 70 grams of chorizo. So I've got all my ingredients here prepared. So my chorizo, I know I'm a bit over 70, but you know what? It really doesn't bother me. I'm going to use the whole chorizo rather than stick a little bit back into the fridge to sit there forever and a day. Okay, 1 garlic clove, big fat garlic clove. And I'm going to pop the lid on. Then I'm just going to chop for 5 seconds. I've just got to go up to speed 10. Scrape down the side of the bowl, excuse me, reaching across there. All right, you can see how well that's chopped it up, all right? So that's all my chorizo and garlic well and truly chopped up. Scrape down my sides there. Then 400 grams of chicken breast. So I've cut that up here. I'm going to pop that in. We haven't weighed it, so I have no idea. It's going to be, again, it's going to be whatever was in the fridge. All right, that's okay, that's fine. Next, pop the lid back in again. Now it's going to mince this up and it's going to mix it. Now, if you are just mincing meat, one of the things I love about this is you can mince your own meat. What I would do is I would chop my meat up into about the sort of size chunks I had there. I would freeze it for 3/4 of an hour, then pop it in here. 7 seconds, speed 7 will do a really good mince. This is going to go 5 seconds. I've just got to go to speed 9. All right, so there we go, all mixed up together. That is it. How easy is that? All I've got to do is make it into burgers. Now, it suggests that you make 4 equal-sized burgers. However, we felt they were a little bit big. I did make them on the weekend, and we felt they were a bit big. So I'm going to get a board. Now I'm going to tip that mixture out onto my board here. Just heard the dog come in. I don't know how she smells meat, but she does. There we go. All right, so it actually cleans up really well. So there we are with that. Right, I'm going to put that aside and keep going with mayo. Right, you might notice that I didn't even touch the screen, and my mix only chimed 4 chimes. So that's because with the TM6, you can actually you can decide how long you want it to chime for under settings. All right, next, in a small bowl, crack 2 eggs and set aside. I've done that. All right. Now, this is one of the tricky bits, so I want you to really see this and understand, all right? So I'm going to, it says, turn the speed selector to speed 3, meanwhile, follow the next step. So I'm going to turn it to 3 here. And then it's adding the reserved eggs through the hole in the lid. So I'm just literally tipping these through the hole in the lid. Now, if I just touch the screen like that, I stop the chimes anyway. Next, so what it's actually done, it says down the bottom here, done, please click next, all right? Because that was actually like going back a step. That was where we turned it on for 30 seconds on speed, whatever it was. And then it said do something else, but you've got to read this, done, please click next. Rather than thinking that you've got to do something there and it's not showing you what to do. Then you reinsert the measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid. So I've done that. And this is where we're going to drizzle the olive oil in through the top. Okay. So I've done that. And now it's the same deal, all right? 1 minute 30, I've got to turn it to speed 6. Meanwhile, follow the next step. Oops. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that up there. Very slowly pour my reserve grapeseed oil in. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this up so you can actually see. I'm literally pouring it into the lid. And it's going to go down through the gap between the measuring cup and the lid. Sometimes you need to give it a little bit of a wobble. See, 3 seconds to go. Done. Please click next. All right, it's really important to read this bit at the bottom. Place in a bowl and use immediately or store in a sealable container in the fridge if you need it. Now, I haven't been very lazy. I haven't taken the label off this jar, but I'm going to show you this mayo. It's my favourite. So one of the things you can do if you've got a jar is you can actually pop your lid on top like that. And here's my mayo. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, if you wanted to, you could add, you know, whilst you before you put the oil in, you could add a little bit of mustard or some garlic or something, because it goes fast, and if it goes on speed 5, it is fast enough to actually chop your garlic up. But look at that, it is just beautiful. I'm so pleased. I really wasn't big on Thermomix mayonnaise, mainly because we don't use an awful lot of it. But I'll tell you what, since I've been making this one, I've been using a lot more mayonnaise. It is beautiful. All right, now I'm just going to see what temperature it is, see if I can actually turbo that just to get the last bits out. But you can see I've used that as a funnel. I'm also obviously going to scrape out the rest of what's on the lid here as well. All right, now I'm just going to pop that aside with that little spatula on the top. I'm going to go finish. Okay, it's 45 degrees. And the reason I'm checking that is because when the bowl is still 60 degrees or hotter, then it won't turbo. But I'm going to flick this way. I'm going to hit my turbo button. Whoops, I better make sure I've got a measuring cup on there. Otherwise, I'm going to be in big trouble. I'm going to paint the ceiling. Touch that. Turn. Really important, you need to get out of turbo. The easiest way when I'm really not going into any recipe or anything is just to do that, hit the home button. Otherwise, it will not release the lid. So I'm just going to show you how clean my blades are now after turboing, and I will just scrape that out. So I'm always scraping, push to the bottom. I'm only using this because I'm not sure where I put my other spatula last night, and the other one's got one I used before. It's obviously got the chicken and chorizo all over it, which I don't want on my mayo. All right, where's my jar? There we go. And I'll tell you what, it's delicious. Really good. All right, so I can put that aside to cool. And what I'm going to do in the meantime, apart from licking my fingers and everything I possibly can with the mayonnaise on it because it's so yummy, is I'm going to bring that board back here and just make those little burgers. Now, what I find with this, it's really good to have wet hands. So I'm just going to damp my hands. And I've got a spatula here somewhere. Oh, who knows where I put that? No idea where I put it. I was going to use it just to divide the mixture up. So I'm just going to put the mixture like this. I'm going to go down through the middle there like that. And I'm actually going to make, it's a bit annoying because I'd really like to make, well, I could make 4 little ones, I suppose, from each end. So just going to do, that's probably better. Now, what I did find with these burgers, we had them on the weekend, and they're really yummy. But what I do find is anything with chicken in it in a burger, particularly because, actually that's a good point, particularly because it's breast, they're quite dry. So you do need to make sure you got a bit of mayo around or some sauce. And last week in our Christmas gifts, I made the bacon jam. So we had some of that with ours. It was really delicious. And of course, you got the chorizo in there anyway. So here we are. I'm just going to make these into 4 little. We found I don't know how many it's meant to serve. Maybe we were meant to only have 2, you know, a burger each. But we had 2 each on the weekend. They were really big. Too much meat. So there we go. Very, very simple to make. We will have some of those tonight, and I will freeze for another time. Have to wash my hands. Okay, and then one last thing, I'll move those out the way. One last thing is, of course, using this amazing universal clean. So I'm going to pop, oh, there's my spatula. Put some water in here. Just cover the blades. And I'm going to finish that recipe. So I can either keep going next, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to cancel the recipe in here and go, yes, I want to cancel the recipe. I'm going to swipe the screen to the left and I'm going to come onto my pre-clean. Now, whenever you, I can actually put this on do not show this message again. If I click out of there, that little information thing there, I can click on there for any of these modes. You can click on there and it will tell you about the mode. But I love this mode. It is just the best thing. We did some pre-making, some recipes to pre-make and freeze for Christmas last night. I had 3 dirty bowls and I just literally did them on the 2 Thermomixes. So with the clean, we've got dough, universal, browning or fat. I'm going to put mine on universal and 8 minutes later, all I'm going to have to do is rinse my bowl out. If you are doing, and you can put a drop of dishwashing liquid in there, which is a good idea to do if you've been doing meat. If you are doing the browning, don't use dishwashing liquid, use vinegar. Actually, I'm going to drop a little bit of vinegar through the top to clean this. Only because apparently when you're on the browning mode, if you're using dishwashing liquid, it will proper. So there we go. That's what I wanted to show you today. Hope that was helpful. And please just make sure that when you are doing any of those recipes that say, whilst it's doing this, I want you to do this, just make sure that you read the bottom of the screen. If it says, this is done, go hit the next button because it will make a big difference. Okay, thank you. Have a great day.